Huster in the middle, Allie Krieger on the right. In the midfield for the Spirit, it's the captain, Lori Lindsay, Diana Matheson, Ingrid Wells, Julia Roberts, and on the wing, Stephanie Oakes. And restored to her starting spot after coming off the bench last week, it's Tiffany McCarty. Spirit in the red tonight will kick off going from right to left towards the scoreboard end here in the first half. The Breakers in the white with blue shorts and white socks will attack the Spirit Hill to the right of me. Oakes, McCarty, and Matheson in the center circle for the Spirit. Officials tonight, Josh Wilkins has the middle. Russ Wolf and Dean Fairweather are your assistant referees, and Matthew Richardson is the fourth official. Weather tonight wasn't an issue initially, as the W League game that was supposed to be on the center stadium here was stopped twice before kickoff by the threat of lightning. Eventually was moved to an adjacent field here on the complex, but we do not expect any issues tonight, hopefully. We're underway here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Allie Krieger dropping it back. Candace Chapman's first touch of the year will have to wait a bit as Ashlyn Harris comes off her line to chip it out for a throw-in. Well, Sydney LaRue coming off a hat trick last week, leading the league in scoring with 4 goals. She's fourth, of course, coming, as I said earlier, to get a point for the Breakers at home in their season opener against the Spirit. Ball headed in the box. Here's Tori Huster. Bit of a mishit on the volley there. Sanderson and Chapman didn't see it initially, and it goes out with the first corner of the match. An unforced error, 35 seconds in. So the Breakers right away can put some pressure on Ashlyn Harris's goal. Katie Shepfer will take the corner. It'll be an in-swinging ball from the far side from the Penn State product from Waterford, Connecticut. The serve from Shepfer towards the 6. Harris makes a nice catch in traffic. The ball was intended for the run of Julie King coming far post, and Harris did really well to make the catch at full reach. Harris arranging her back line, getting ready to roll this ball out to Huster. By myself tonight as Daniel Malagari is home. Had an unfortunate incident with a softball earlier today, so we wish her a quick recovery. Hopefully she'll be back here when we return home here in a few weeks. But for tonight, you're stuck with just me. Ball knocked out by Melinda Mercado. Mercado, a late addition to this lineup, was not in the starting lineup that we were given. So Mercado in at center back, and we'll have to see who she replaced in that back four. O'Reilly. On the ball, marked by Lori Lindsay. She'll chip it forward. Too tall for Shepfer. Harris well off her line will make the play. So I'm scanning right now. I don't see Kia McNeil. So it looks like Mercado replaced McNeil in the center of the Breakers defense, but we'll get official confirmation of that when we can. Ball played left for Robin Gale, who, as I said, is in her first action at left back after Kika Toulouse and Domenica Hodak manned that position in the first few matches for the Spirit, but with Candace Chapman healthy, Chapman takes her spot in the middle, and her national teammate Gale is on the left. Steal for O'Reilly in Boston. She'll push forward. LaRue to her right. Ball played through for Sydney LaRue. She has a step on Gale. LaRue will cross the ball towards the middle, blocked by Gale. Seemed like LaRue for a half second was unsure what to do with that ball, whether she was going to try and maybe beat Robin Gale on the dribble or choose to play the quick cross. She chose the cross, and I'm sure not too disappointed with the result, which is the second corner already of the match for Boston in the 3rd minute. Again, it'll be Katie Shepfer hitting it right-footed, out-swinging ball. A nice one towards the far post. Popped up a couple of heads. Whitehill and Lindsay, the former Freedom teammates here, battled for it, and it is cleared by Lori Lindsay. Here's Mercado, the former Oklahoma State Cowgirl. Square for Joe Dragata. Now forward for the ever-present Heather O'Reilly, who will pop up on either wing today. Chip forward through Leanne Sanderson. Sanderson getting a touch hard towards the right side and too hard. It's out for a throw-in. Sanderson returning to the Maryland Soccerplex after playing for DC United Women last year. Joanna Lohman also played for Mike Jordan last year, so I'm sure there were some handshakes exchanged between those players and coach before the game. Ingrid Wells shipping it forward. McCarty is offside. In the 4th minute, it'll be a free kick for the Breakers. But, you know, an aggressive forward, that's not a terrible thing to get offside once or twice. You just have to pick your spots and pick your battles. Spirit fans, you can receive discounts on game tickets by joining the Spirit Alliance Fan Club. See Rob Smith or visit www.washingtonspirit.com. for more information. Ball through, picked off by Ashlyn Harris. Breakers come in a three-way tie for second place in the league. Won 7 points with 2 wins and a draw. Portland is in first place, but they've played an extra match as the two teams behind them, 2 of the 3 teams behind them that are tied, Boston and FC Kansas City, had their match the week of the tragedy of the Boston Marathon postponed. Ball through from McCarty. She is onside. McCarty in the box, trying to lose the defender, and it's popped high by McCardo and out. Noguera had the initial mark and did well to slow down Tiffany McCarty, and then Mercado came in and finished the job, but a good chance for the Spirit just under 5 minutes in. First corner of the match for Washington will come from the far side, and the right foot of Lori Lindsay. Ingrid Wells at the near post for the Spirit. Now Huster will jog in and stand on top of goalkeeper Ashley Phillips. Everybody else at the top of the 18 in red. Outswinging ball from Lindsay, driven in and towards Huster. She touches it back out for Lindsay. Lindsay's crossing towards the top of the 18 for Matheson. Matheson's first time shot is blocked. Breakers to clear towards midfield, headed on by Shepfer, shielded well by LaRue, who drops off for Joanna Lohman. She evades McCarty and drops it back to her goalkeeper, Ashley Phillips. Phillips clear towards midfield, volleyed by Matheson. Step and win from Krieger, now given away by Lori Lindsay to Lohman. Chipped left for LaRue. She'll touch it up for Leanne Sanderson. Through ball now for O'Reilly. O'Reilly has a step on Gale. Deflected now, and off her line comes Harris. Gale didn't have a great angle, but did just enough to break up the dangerous run from Heather O'Reilly, and then Harris did the rest. But a good look there from Boston in the attack in the 6th minute. Here's Tiffany McCarty. Back for Lindsay in the center circle. She'll chip it up the right side, trying to work in Krieger. Nicely weighted ball, kept alive by Allie Krieger. She'll go to work against King. Krieger trying to turn the corner. Cross comes in, it's blocked. Second ball falls in midfield for Mariah Noguera. And she'll chip it up the left side, intended for LaRue. But too much on that ball, it goes out for a throw-in. Throw in for Lori Lindsay. Touch now for Diana Matheson. Matheson in the midfield will play it up the right side, intended for Stephanie Oakes. Nicely weighted ball for Oakes. Oakes cuts back on her left foot, crosses deflected. And now here's Matheson on the ball again. Has Krieger short in support. Will play the cross instead. It's deflected towards the corner. Oakes will run it down and go to work against King. Shields nicely, takes a tug, keeps it in play, and it's clear. Matheson picks up the ball, working towards the corner, blocked by Jolie King, and cleared. LaRue back again for King. Ball blocked by Oakes. Good pressure, but out for a goal kick in the 8th minute. 2013 is going to be an exciting year for the field, for the fans and the team. If you're interested in having your youth players participate in our on-field activities, please let us know by filling out the interest form at our Enter to Win table at the stadium or online at washingtonspirit.com. Goal kick from Phillips towards midfield. Header one high by Julia Roberts. Towards the far side it comes for Joanna Lohman. She chips it forward looking for LaRue. Broken up by Roberts. Now Krieger goes back for Chapman. Chapman under pressure does well to evade the challenge from Shepfer and play it back for Ashlyn Harris. Harris's chip left for Robin Gale, brought down smartly by the UNC product. She'll drop it back for Huster. In the center of the park for Roberts, who will turn upfield and work in Krieger, the right back. Under pressure from LaRue, she'll play it up the line short for Matheson, broken up by a tackle from LaRue. Matheson tries to volley it down for herself, but that's broken up. Roberts wins it back for Krieger. Now Lori Lindsay. And a giveaway there to O'Reilly, but her touch is heavy. Lindsay gets it back, plays it up the line. Wells keeps it in play for Gale. Nice hustle there from the Georgetown midfielder. Over the top it comes for Oakes. Working against Kat Whitehill, and the veteran touches it back for Phillips on her own 6. And under pressure from McCarty, she has to clear it out for a throw-in. Good work there from the Spirit. Hustle from Wells started the play. Some good efforts from Oakes, and McCarty put a lot of pressure on Phillips, and the Breakers goalkeeper just able to knock that one clear. It's a throw for Gale and the Spirit in the 9th minute. Into the 18 it comes for Oakes, who chests it down, looks to turn. Plays it up the line, intended for McCarty, but too hard. A throw for the Breakers and a bit of relief for them in the 10th minute. Dragata's throw, brought down by Mariah Noguera. Tackle from McCarty, and she fouls. McCarty not happy with the call from center official Josh Wilkins, but not going to talk him out of it. It's a free kick for Kat Whitehill, who, along with Lohman and Sanderson, is returning to familiar ground. She played for the Washington Freedom here for 2 years, allocated along with Abby Wallenbach to that team in WPS. Header on looking for Arawi, trying to push and shove her way past Gale. Unable to turn the corner. Arawi thought that Gale was pushing her back, but no call either way, which allows Ashlyn Harris to reset her lines here. Scoreless 10 minutes in. Both teams have had some corner kicks early, but not really created a lot of chances off of that. Shepfer lays off for Sanders. Nice through ball, waited for O'Reilly. O'Reilly's toucher on Harris. She gets a piece of it. Nice job there by Harris to not touch it with her hands. Still danger though as Sanderson's on the ball. O'Reilly for Lohman. Again for Heather O'Reilly, who's popped up in some dangerous spots. Touch for Shepfer, won away by Wells. Lindsay, Matheson. Nice ball for Krieger on the right side. Pressure by Sydney LaRue. She'll cut back and drop for Matheson. Matheson, who started as almost a forward last week, playing more in a traditional defensive midfield slot. I think the position that a lot of people expected her to play for Mike Jordan's team. Roberts. And back for Ashlyn Harris. Given away though to O'Reilly. She'll try the half volley and it one hops harmlessly to Harris, but again, that could have been dangerous. This was a story for the Spirit last week. Those giveaways, as Alex Morgan's penalty kick that gave Portland the 1-0 lead came off a giveaway, and then the second goal was clearly a giveaway from Allie Krieger, given away. That allowed the second goal to come from Portland off the right foot of Nikki Washington. Spirit got a late one from Diana Matheson from the penalty spot, but it wasn't enough. Went down to their second straight loss and come in with 2 losses and 2 draws on the year. Welsh's throw for Robin Gale. In the center circle for Lindsay, who has time and space to turn. She'll drop it back for Chapman. The veteran from Notre Dame will chip it up the right side, intended for McCarty. Sanderson wins it in midfield for the Breakers and drops it back. Here's Dragata. Short for Lohman and back for Mercado. Mercado acquired in a trade with the Western New York Flash. Getting the start today is, if you're just joining us, Kia McNeil was in the original 11, but was a late scratch. Mercado getting her place. Huster. Chip over, looking for McCarty, headed well by Kat Whitehill. Noguera drops it back, played forward by King, deflected by Allie Krieger. And now Lindsay will drop it. Here's Candace Chapman. Back to Harris as Sheffer took away the square pass to Huster that would have been the easier ball. Forced it back. Huster. Knocking it left. Won by Mercado to Heather O'Reilly, who drops it back for Lohman. Chip over the top, looking for the run of Sanderson. Sanderson has a step on Gale, looking for options. She'll cross it in first time across the 6, and Harris made the diving save. Krieger was there just in case, as the ball was a few steps ahead of the run of Sydney LaRue. But a good thought and a good attack again from the Breakers, as Heather O'Reilly has been a part of a lot initially for Boston. Through ball for Ingrid Wells, and the flag goes up on Wells. Offside on the Spirit in the 14th minute. Kat Whitehill will take this free kick, as she has so many times for the national team and for the Freedom as well. When she played here, she's a master of that long ball, but chooses to go short this time. Here's Julie King. Double team by McCarty and Matheson. She's forced back to Kat Whitehill. Whitehill will boom it long this time, but to the left of Sydney LaRue and out for a throw-in. Krieger asked to back up a few steps before she takes this throw in the 14th minute. No score here between the Spirit and Breakers. Second meeting between these two squads. The first one at Doughboy Stadium ended in a 1-1 tie at the Plex tonight for the return leg, if you will. Header won by Boston. Easy pick for Robin Gale. She'll switch it left for Wells. Chested down by the former Georgetown midfielder. Short now for Roberts. And a switch broken up by Mariah Noguera. Back comes Matheson to win it for Chapman. The two Canadians connect again. Matheson goes over the top. Oakes is in if she can bring it down. The touch was a little too far in front of her as the ball was served a step or two away, but a good idea. Good to see Oakes popping up as well in the center, as she's played wide for the most part in the first 4 games of the Spirit, but was a true striker at San Diego. Gale for Roberts. She'll go back for Huster. And for Chapman. Got to wonder if Huster, who's played well through 4 matches, feels a little bit more comfortable with the veteran Chapman next to her. Shepfer off the steal. Drops it back for Mariah Noguera. She'll go left for LaRue. Won by Krieger, who will drop it back. So LaRue, after her 3-goal performance against Chicago last week, held in check so far by Allie Krieger on that far side. LaRue will take this throw in the 16th minute. Back for Kat Whitehill. Square for Mercado. Now to the feet of Noguera. She'll drop it back for Whitehill. Chip left. Picks out LaRue nicely. Back it comes for King. Now Noguera. Broken up well by Lori Lindsay, who drops it back. Roberts for Huster. To the feet of Matheson. Under pressure, she'll drop for Lindsay. Good chip right to relieve pressure and find Allie Krieger. Up the line now for Oakes. Oakes bumped from behind by King, who steals it. Sliding challenge from Oakes, though, wins it back for Allie Krieger. She'll go all the way back to her safety of Ashlyn Harris. Huster. Chip left for Gale, who brings it down under control. Turns Dragata and draws the foul against Joe Dragata. Free kick for the Spirit, a couple steps past midfield here on the left side. Step or 2 in from the sideline. And before this free kick, remind you, for you Twitter smartphone fans, you can follow us on Twitter at WashSpirit. That's W-A-S-H Spirit. We'll be announcing news and giveaways throughout the season on Twitter during the games. So as I suggested last week, keep a browser window open on us. Keep a browser window open on Twitter on that WashSpirit page. Chip from Gale towards the top of the 18. Headed on by McCarty into the path of Matheson. But a dangerous challenge there from Gang wins it away. Dangerous for her as she put her body in the way there. Could have taken a kick to the back, but able to get out of it and win the ball. Chip from Roberts over the top looking for McCarty. Will offer one as Phillips. She gets a piece of the ball. Does well. Goalkeeper has to do that every once in a while. And Whitehill will just knock it out. I think she was making sure that Phillips was okay. So that really didn't have to go out of bounds there. Throw in for Gale in the Spirit in the 18th minute. No score. Oakes trying to touch it around the back of Joe Dragata, but runs out of real estate. A throw for the Breakers. Michael Minnick here with you at the Plex. By myself tonight is Daniel Malagary. Took a softball to the head earlier today and was unable to make it tonight's match. So, again, we wish her well in her recuperation and be looking forward to having some company up here again when Western New York visits all the way on June the 15th. That's the next home game for the Spirit. More than a month away. In between road games at Seattle and Portland on the 16th and 19th of May. Third meeting with the Breakers on May 25th. Then it's a break of nearly 2 weeks before that Western New York match here. Good tickets remaining at WashingtonSpirit.com as Abby Wambach and company return for the second time. Here's Krieger. Chip towards the 18. Deflected, brought down now by Noguera, and she nearly gives away to Lindsay. Has to go back to Phillips, who chips towards midfield. Header by Huster given right away to Joanna Lohman. Lohman goes right for Heather O'Reilly. Ball over the top looking for LaRue, but chested down by Gale. Gale sniffed out that angle well. Left for Ingrid Wells, and back for Robin Gale. Now Tori Huster. Token pressure from Sydney LaRue. Wells will make the run back. Instead, the ball comes left again for Robin Gale. Right-footed switch towards the middle. And under pressure, Lindsay will shield off Noguera and playing Candace Chapman. Now Matheson. Right for Allie Krieger. Pressure by Shepfer. In the center of the park again, it comes from Matheson, the 20th minute. No score. Matheson's ball left, picked off by O'Reilly. O'Reilly on the move again, overlapping is Lohman. She'll play it for Sanderson. Sanderson will play it through, looking for the run of Joanna Lohman, but too hard is the pass. And the two good friends can't hook up there, and it goes out for a goal kick. As I said, Lohman and Sanderson played here for the DC United women last year. Were very successful in that endeavor. Also founded the Jolie Academy together to provide training and other services for the soccer youth of this community, and their services were greatly appreciated, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that were sad to see them go to Boston, but it's Boston's gain, of course. Breakers and their fans getting the advantage there. Speaking of advantages, here's Oaks stealing the ball off of Whitehill and sliding it just wide of the goal. Half chance there. Would have been a tough task for Oaks to turn her body towards goal, but that nipping pressure hurt the Spirit last week, working to their advantage there. Kat Whitehill had to use all of her veteran wiles to keep Oaks off as long as she did. Oaks did get the final touch in. Goal kick for Ashley Phillips towards midfield, headed on by Noguera. Picked off by Allie Krieger, her chip forward. Nice work from McCarty to step in front of Lohman and win it. Allie Krieger back on the ball. Early ball towards Oaks. Volleyed instead by Mercado. Kept alive by Shepfer on the sideline. Knocked forward, but an easy bring down for Huster. Giveaway, though, she almost handed it to O'Reilly. Wells had to come all the way back to play in Robin Gale. Chapman. Through ball for Matheson, who is onside. Matheson will run this down the edge of the 18. Matheson's cross comes in and caught by Ashley Phillips. Making the near post run was McCarty. Ingrid Wells was also making the run far post, but McCarty clearly the target of that ball. Header won by Krieger forward. Slide from King. Denies Matheson the ball on the field, but does give away a throw-in. 22nd minute, no score. Michael Minnick here with you. Glad you joined us here on this Saturday evening, wherever you are in the world. Ball gets through to Wells. She'll go to work against Mercado. Wells on the edge of the 18, cuts back well. Right-footed shot is blocked. Comes through, header won by Lindsay back. Matheson hustling for it. It'll be LaRue getting into it first, though, and playing it for Sanderson, who evades the tackle from Roberts and plays Shepfer. Shepfer gives it back to Sanderson. Not quite in the path of Leanne Sanderson, who had to double back, and that allowed Krieger to touch it away for Chapman. I'd like to wish everyone an early happy Mother's Day. It might be Mother's Day where you are, if you're in Europe or Australia. It's Mother's Day now, but a couple hours away here in the States. Header won by Noguera forward. Sanderson thought about the shot, instead went right for O'Reilly. Sliding challenge from Gale, knocks it away, and concedes a deep throw-in. 23rd minute, no score. Both teams have been able to get half chances. The best chance might have been the one that Ashlyn Harris slid away from Heather O'Reilly outside of the box, about 25 yards from goal on a through ball. Touchback now for Shepfer. Shepard's left-footed ball driven across for LaRue, who heads it in the path of Sanderson. Sanderson brings it down, tries to turn, lays it off for Lohman. Lohman's shot is in the back of the net. So the Boston Breakers have drawn first blood. It's 1-0 in the 24th minute. Good combination there. Some nice passing in the box off the initial switch. So Joanna Lohman, happy homecoming for her. So there's the official word, Joanna Lohman from Leanne Sanderson in the 24th minute. The goal for Boston. So for the fourth straight match, the Spirit have to come from behind. The only game they've led was the game at Boston, where Tiffany McCarty gave them the lead early. They held that lead for most of the game. Sydney Leroux scoring the equalizer in extra time, but since then, it's been level or behind for the Spirit. Chip by Matheson over the top, headed by Mercado. Flicked on now by Sydney Leroux. Matheson for Krieger. Lindsay's ball over the top. Now in the path of McCarty. McCarty a step slow as Phillips off her line. Good look there for the Spirit. McCarty sniffed out that run nicely. The ball across from Matheson was a good one. But Phillips aggressive and rewarded for it with the diving save. Sanderson for Noguera. Bump from behind by Oaks and the foul given. Sanderson wanted advantage there. Hands out to center referee Josh Wilkins, saying I'd love to just keep carrying that one down the right side, but chance for Cat Whitehill to boom one into the 18. End of the 26th minute. Breakers lead 1-0 on Joanna Lohman's goal 2 minutes ago. And it comes towards Noguera, who pops it up, wins it again, and now Sanderson brings it down. Might have handled that ball, but play on given. Here's O'Reilly, back for Lohman. Drop for Mercado in the center circle. Square for Whitehill. Cat will dump it right into the path of Leroux, but the pass too hard out for a throw in deep. So the Spirit just looking to strike from the run of play as the last 2 weeks, it's been Diana Matheson scoring. Last 3 weeks, actually. And in 2 of those 3 weeks, there was a penalty kick. The game in between 2 weeks ago against Sky Blue FC, she scored from the run of play off a nice combination with Lori Lindsay, only to see a goal early in the second half from Sophie Schmidt undo that work and give Sky Blue FC a 2-1 win. Throw from Leroux towards Noguera. Volley cleared by Chapman. Leroux will watch it go out for a throw in the 27th minute. Throw back for Cat Whitehill. Switch broken up by McCarty. Falls for Mercado. Right for Dragata. Up the line for O'Reilly as Dragata will overlap and get it back from Heather O'Reilly. Here's the former Florida Gator going to work against Julia Roberts. Roberts wins it away, shields it towards the corner, still in play, and knocks it out. It'll be a throw in for the Spirit. Nice work from Roberts. Still a dangerous spot for a throw in though if you're Washington. Have to make sure this pass is a clear one, a good one. You don't want to give away a chance for Schepfer or for O'Reilly in deep. Up the line it comes for Oaks, who shields against O'Reilly, drops it back. Gale will just thump it up the line. It's out for a throw-in a less precarious position. Dragata has to hold up as the second ball is thrown on the field. Woolman will retrieve it and roll it back to the near sideline. Dragata throws it for Sanderson, who has an assist already. Touched away by Huster. Volleyed back in the mixer by Mercado. Ball popped up. Schepfer took a hard hit there, and referee immediately will stop this and wave the trainer on in the 28th minute. Have to wonder if the incident that happened here a couple weeks ago with Abby Wallenbach has made officials a little bit more aware of that concussion, where if somebody gets hit with the ball at close range or hits heads, they'll be a little bit more proactive. And I'd like to see that. I'd rather see a better safe than sorry approach. You don't want to see a player, have lasting effects from a hit like that. You want to make sure they're okay. So that's what they're doing with Katie Schepfer right now. Schepfer holding her head will get a nice round of applause as she walks towards the sideline. So for the time being in the 29th minute, it's 11-10. It'll be a drop ball. Leroux and Wells will step in to take it. And they're just going to let it drop to Leroux, who will sportingly knock it out for a goal kick. Leroux, of course, playing for the U.S. national team, but was born in Canada, so you have to wonder maybe she gets some hockey face-off flashbacks when she has that sort of situation where it's a drop ball. Here's Stephanie Oaks, left for Wells. Up the line, into the path of McCarty, but Mercado had a better angle. Plays it for Dragata. Dragata, harried by Wells, drops it back, cleared by Mercado up for Sanderson. Sanderson touches it around Gale. O'Reilly making the run right. Instead, the pass comes centrally for LaRue, was partially deflected. Chapman back for it will work in the space of Krieger. Matheson. Pass blocked by Lohman, kept alive by Joanna Lohman temporarily, but it does finally roll out for a throw in the 30th minute. Schepfer still talking to members of the Breakers staff on the sideline right in front of me. So we're still 11 on 10 for the time being. Now Schepfer has gotten the all clear, going to the fourth official and waiting to be waved on. Good to see that she's okay. Chip forward by McCarty, blocked by Whitehill. Dropped back now by Lohman to Whitehill. Schepfer's back on. We're back to even strength at 11 on 11 in the 30th minute. Immediately the ball is played for Katie Schepfer, who brings it down for Dragata. Through for Sanderson. Touched away by Huster for Gale. Back it comes for Ashlyn Harris. Tori Huster. I think that was the interesting question with Candace Chapman returning to health was who would make way? Would it be Huster in the middle? Would it be one of the outside backs? Would it even be something in the midfield, either making way for Chapman herself or for Tori Huster moving back to her natural position? In the end, it was the left back duo of Kika Toulouse and Dominica Hodak that was dropped, and Chapman giving her spot in the right central area of defense, and Gale moved to left back. Here's Ingrid Wells, giving it away. Clear for Mercado, who stumbles. Throw in for Wells, who takes it quickly. Mercado still trying to get her bearings. Oaks trying to split two defenders here on the left side. Overlapping is Wells, but the ball right to Mercado, who clears it away. Spirit Faithful starting to raise their voices a bit in the 32nd minute. Their team needing a bit of a boost, down 1 goal. Joanna Lohman from Leanne Sanderson. The scoring combo there for the Breakers. That goal coming back in the 24th minute. Cross from McCarty. Volleyed out by Joanna Lohman. Headed on by Roberts. Popped up by Oaks. Sanderson will battle Roberts. Roberts gets the better angle. Drops it for Huster. Huster under pressure from O'Reilly. Works in Candace Chapman, who goes back to Harris. Wide it comes for Krieger. Left-footed ball forward, finds the feet of McCarty. Overlapping on the right is Diana Matheson, and she'll get it. Early ball from Matheson towards the middle, towards Oaks. But Phillips off her line makes the catch a half second quicker. As I said earlier, I like Oaks popping up in the middle. She's a good winger going both ways, but when she can get closer to goal and those instincts can take over, she's dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, here's Sydney LaRue going to work against Krieger. Touches it by Krieger. Can't she pick it up on the other end? Gets a piece of it, and Schepfer blocks the clearance from Huster. And it will be a goal kick. That's the correct call. Schepfer got the final boot in there, but good work from Sydney LaRue initially to turn the corner, but the Spirit central defense, led by Chapman, able to marshal their resources, cut that attack off. Harris will take her time on this goal kick in the 33rd minute. I have a special guest at halftime as women's national team head coach Tom Sermani is scheduled to join me, so stay tuned to the break for that chat. Looking forward to hearing his plans for the Canada friendly here in a few weeks, as well as the matches recently announced against South Korea. Ball kept alive by Robin Gale. Speaking of Canada, I'm sure she'll feature in that game in Toronto and the first weekend in June. Ball knocked out, it'll be a Spirit throw deep. Gale evaluating her options. Goes for Wells, and she can't juggle that one into her own control. Gives away a throw, which Joe Dragata will take for Sanderson. Sanderson turning at the edge of the 18, switching it. Lohman rushing back for it. Has King to her left, she'll play her. Touch back to Joanna Lohman. And she'll work in the goalkeeper, Ashley Phillips. Phillips played for the Breakers in WPS as well. Made her debut here 3 years ago against the Washington Freedom. And O'Reilly's offside. Flag up in the 35th minute. Big thank you to our sponsors for this season, the Washington Area Girls Soccer League, Metro Orthopedic and Sports Therapy, the Maryland Soccer Foundation, Pro Chain Solutions, and SoccerWire.com. Thanks for supporting the return of women's soccer to the nation's capital. Free kick for Gale. Played short for Julia Roberts, who goes back again for Robin Gale. Roberts again for Huster. Switch right for the gold boots of Krieger. Krieger, pressured by Mariah Noguera, will go on the floor for Ingrid Wells, who's flip-flop sides for now. Krieger, and a good tackle there from Boston. Ball played up the side. Matheson came back from an offside position. The flag comes up, whistle blows. Free kick for the Breakers in the 36th minute. Again, if you're just joining us, it's 1-0 Boston. A nice combination in the box resulting on Joanna Woman's goal from the assist of Leanne Sanderson. Spirit have fallen behind for the 4th consecutive game. The first time they were able to come back, get a point late on Matheson's penalty. Second time against Sky Blue FC, Matheson tied the game off of an assist from Lori Lindsay, but then Sophie Schmidt found the winner. And then last week, it was Portland taking a 2-0 lead on Alex Morgan's penalty kick and the strike from Nikki Washington early in the second half. And Diana Matheson won a penalty kick late, put it away, but too little too late. Spirit went down 2-1, still in search of that first win. They'll have to do it from behind tonight. Oaks up the line for Wells. Pressure by Joe Dragata. She'll go to work. Still Wells. Back for Gale. Gale has time and space to set up a cross. She will. Right-footed ball in towards the penalty spot. Over everybody. Matheson's volley across the 6. And McCarty was there, but just a step behind. Good idea for Matheson. Dangerous chance for the Spirit, who are still in possession with Wells. And she will win a corner. Feet stomping. Thankfully, the thunder from earlier has gone away, but has been replaced by the thunder of feet here on the Meadow Soccerplex bleachers. 37th minute as Lindsay tees up this in-swinging corner kick. It'll be a right-footed ball. Wells in the 6. Everybody else working their runs around the top of the 18. Ball comes in towards the 6 and caught by Phillips. Huster was there. Oaks was there, but Phillips there first. Punt from Phillips across midfield. Won by a pair of Washington heads, but to Heather O'Reilly. Making the short run is Sanderson, but a good job from Oaks to make her double back. Now a switch for LaRue, who have to run it down against Krieger. LaRue in the far corner. Drops it back. Julie King. Right-footed ball in. Harris off her line, makes the catch. Sanderson was there, as were 3 Spirit defenders, and Harris a bit slow to regain her footing. Now down on one knee, she'll stand up. And wave Tori Huster forward, so she's feeling well enough to punt this ball. Doesn't have to roll it. Knocks it left. Oaks hustling to try and win it, and runs out of space. Thrown for the Breakers in the 38th minute. Michael Minnick here with you at the Maryland Soccerplex, the 4th game of a 4-game homestand for the Washington Spirit. And a high boot there. Foul goes against Lori Lindsay as she made contact with Mariah Noguera. And this is Cat Whitehill territory where she can serve it and somebody can either flick it across the face of goal or take a shot for themselves. Whitehill a master of this long ball. Hand comes up from Cat, serve towards the 18. Off her line is Harris, she'll make the catch. Quick outlet to Lori Lindsay. Lohman, though, a step quicker, wins it for Boston. Has LaRue short, she'll play in Sydney LaRue. Back again for Lohman, the goal scorer. Now Sanderson in the center of the park. Tried to switch it right for the run of O'Reilly, but Oaks there in between to break it up. Gives it away right back to Cat Whitehill, though. Cat will finish that switch right that the Breakers tried earlier. Brought down by O'Reilly. It'll stay in play for Hayo. Cross towards the middle. Incoming is the shot from Shepfer, and it hits a red shirt on the way through. It'll be a corner for the Breakers in the 40th minute. O'Reilly is short. She'll screen the keeper, Harris. Lohman making the short run, everybody else making far post runs. Ball comes in towards that far post. Knocked down by a couple players. King gets a full run. Now it's Cat Whitehill turning it in, trying to find LaRue. It's broken up. Now it comes back for Sanderson. Her shot from deep is blocked by Oaks. It'll be Mercado for Boston. Going left for Sydney LaRue. Again for Mercado. Switch towards the middle, towards O'Reilly, who heads it on into the path of Shepfer. Harris off her line now hesitates. Shepfer's volley is high and wide. Harris thought about coming out to get that, realized she wasn't going to be able to run it down in time, and retreated. And I think Shepfer maybe had time for an extra touch there, but chose to go with the quick volley, the element of surprise, where Harris will still off her line and missed high and wide. Spirit have done some good things, but still find themselves on the short end of a 1-0 score line. Joanna Lohman from Leanne Sanderson in the 24th minute. The difference in this match so far. Matheson. Overlapping is Krieger. Up the line for Tiffany McCarty, who's had a good first half in her return to the lineup. Cuts it back. Now plays short for Krieger. Krieger again for McCarty. Marked by Cat Whitehill. Gets the cross off towards the middle. Intended for Oaks. It's cleared partially. And incoming is Roberts, and her shot goes well high and hops over the fence behind the goal. 41st minute, a goal kick for the Breakers. You can own the official NWSL jerseys from your favorite team today. Visit nwslshop.com and gear up today for the inaugural season. Or visit our red and white shop on the concourse if you happen to be at a Spirit match for the latest Spirit merchandise. Get your Spirit jerseys, t-shirts, scarves, and other great ways to show your Spirit. That at nwslshop.com. Throw for Robin Gale and the Spirit in the 42nd minute. Tiffany McCarty chested down at the center stripe, pressured by Sanderson and fouled by Leanne Sanderson. So a chance for the Spirit to knock this forward. Lori Lindsay will take the free kick, short for Chapman. Now Matheson back for Chapman. Square for Huster. Plays it through the channel, intended for the run of Wells, but it's stolen away by Dragata and played out for Heather O'Reilly. Blocked by Lindsay, right to Wells. She'll get it back. Now Matheson. Right for Krieger. On the floor for the run of Wells, who touches it back. Roberts caught off by Krieger, who goes square for Lindsay. Now back for Huster. Left for Gale. Chip forward. Intended for the run of Oaks. Won instead by Joanna Lohman. Now Dragata will knock it clear up the line and out for a throw. Good possession there from the Spirit. Didn't have that final venomous bite to get it through the defense, but able to switch fields well, keep possession, work a couple players in, settle in a little bit. Gale will back up to the prescribed spot here on the near side to take this throw in. Again, we'll have Tom Sermani in just a few minutes. The national team coach will join us on the roof of the Maryland Soccerplex press box to talk all things national team. Looking forward to that very much. So keep your browser here for that one. Huster gives away to Joanna Lohman. Short for Sanderson. Pass intended for Shepard, broken up by Huster and cleared. Mercado volleys it forward and out of bounds. Headed on by Wells, out for a throw again for Boston. No, they're going to say it's the Spirit's ball. The throw must have never entered the field of play. So Gale gets a do-over. This time she finds Lindsay. Touched back for Chapman. Candace Chapman in her first appearance of the year for the Spirit. Veteran out of Notre Dame. Now for Lindsay. Krieger. Chip forward, looking for Stephanie Oakes, too tall for her. Headed down by Dragata. Now Joanna Lohman will touch it right for Dragata. In the 45th minute, it's 1-0 Boston. Center of the park for Shepfer. Chip over the top for Leanne Sanderson. Hustling back is Schuster. Sanderson trying to keep it alive on the end line and runs out of real estate. Goal kick for the Spirit as we move towards stoppage time. Don't figure we'll get too much. Just a goal and the injury to Shepfer are really the only two things that pop out to me as reasons why the referee would have stopped the watch. Chapman for Matheson. Looking for McCarty. Headed out by Julie King. Kept alive by Ingrid Wells for Washington. Up the line it comes for Krieger. Pass is blocked out for a throw. It will be 1 minute of stoppage time, which we're about 5 seconds away from moving into here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Spirit with one last flurry here to try and get level as they trail 1-0. Throw for Oakes. Broken up by Whitehill. It'll be another throw for Krieger in Washington. Here's Oakes. Cross from Krieger towards the 6, caught by Ashley Phillips. Yep, reminder again that U.S. National Team head coach Tom Sermani is next to me. He'll be joining us at halftime to discuss all things national team. We'll talk about this game a little bit as well, get his impressions on the 22 players out there. Touch forward from O'Reilly, flicked on by Shepfer. Back comes Candace Chapman. Matheson, back for Harris. Cleared high towards midfield. Sanderson. Back for Lohman. Chip forward for O'Reilly. Dropped for Dragata. Her first time crossing towards the top of the 18. Chested down by Lohman. Cleared partially by Roberts. Sanderson trying to get her foot through. Couldn't win it, and a foul here. And that will be the final play of the first half. So the Spirit go into the locker room trailing 1-0 here as we bring U.S. National Team head coach Tom Sermani on. Coach, welcome.
Good, it's great to be here.
What are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, it's been a really good competitive first half. I mean, when you walk out onto a field like this, it makes you want to play soccer. And I think both teams are relishing the conditions. It's been an extremely open game. There's been some chances at both ends, and Boston maybe a little bit of good fortune with the goal. It's a little bit of a miskick, although Joanna will be quite happy with it. But up to, as I say, I think it's still anybody's game here.
You've popped up all over the league so far. What have you seen from this league in terms of quality of play so far? Well,
I've certainly been very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the soccer being played by every team. Every team's going out trying to play. I've been extremely happy with the competitiveness of teams. There's been no games where there's been a couple of games where there's maybe been a slight blowout in the scoreboard, but certainly on performance there hasn't been a blowout. So every team's been competitive up to now, and it's been it's been really good games to watch.
It's kind of unique as well, I'm sure, from a player evaluation standpoint, because since these players are learning new players and new things, that's kind of a trial for the national team where you're kind of being thrown in. If you're a newer player, you're learning players' tendencies on the fly, and you have to adjust quickly. So that has to be a nice thing to see as well.
Very much so, and the teams obviously came together fairly late in the piece in their organisation, and considering that, the way teams have played and the cohesiveness of the teams has been quite outstanding. But look, it's great. It's great for national team players, from my perspective, to be playing week in and week out. And it's also terrific to see other players being challenged by national team players to see where they're at in relation to their consistency and their performance. And I think the other big plus is having the Canadian and the Mexican players in here. That's given it another added element. So all in all, I think it's been a really positive start. And I think the other thing that's been really positive are the crowds. Great, crowds I think way above expectation, and really supporting the home teams.
Prime example of that national team battle has been on that left side. It's been Allie Krieger against Sydney LaRue all day. That's been a nice one to watch.
It is, and there's no holds barred when they're up against each other. They're really professional players out to prove themselves, out to play for clubs. And it's another good challenge for them when they're having to come up against players that have been their teammates for the last 3 or 4 years.
Before we look forward to the friendlies next month, let's look back a little bit in your career. How happy are you to see players like Sam Kerr your Australians doing so well so far in this league?
It's been great. You know, I still obviously had a big investment in the program over there, so you don't lose that overnight. It's been terrific to catch up with the Australians and to see them actually doing really well. You know, there's some really talented young players coming through the system there, and opportunities to come and play in a league like this are just unbelievably valuable for them and for the Australian national team.
This is the part of the cycle where you're kind of refreshing. You're a couple years from a World Cup. You're a couple years from the Olympics. You're looking at new players. But the Canada Friendly is going to be a big game for both teams. How do you approach that as a coach? How do you approach that in terms of what players you call in?
I don't think you need to. I mean, the players that you're calling in are still the best players. You know, although up to, already this year, I think we've given 5 or 6 players the first cap or the first start, and all done exceptionally well. But it's a very tough squad to get into, and the players who are in the squad are performing exceptionally well. The Canada game, everybody knows what's at stake. Local rivalry, obviously a little bit of history from last year's Olympics. Full house. It's probably going to be a bit like a cup final.
How did you view that Olympics game last year as someone that was outside of the program at that point with Australia? What was your perspective on that game?
Is a completely neutral at that time.
Yep.
I mean, I can understand a little bit of the Canadians being a little bit aggrieved with a couple of decisions. You know, I'm thinking myself, if I had been on that bench, there was a couple of tight decisions that went against them, and in those big games and the passion and the emotion of those big games, when that happens, it can be very tough to deal with that.
And then next month you also see South Korea. What are you trying to get out of those two friendlies?
Well, again, it's just a different kind of opponent. I think we've had quite a few games this year against more Western-styled opponents, and South Korea put a lot of emphasis in the program over the last couple of years. They've got a young side, very, very skillful team. So it'll be good for a good challenge for us to come up against a team that's got a slightly different style to us, and just to see how our players cope with that. Because what I found with the Australian job, because we played a lot in Asia,
right.
Often some players were suited to play against Asian type players, and some players were suited to playing against European style players. So it'll be interesting to see which of our players deal with that contrast well.
That's the nice thing about having 2 games as well, is you can try something one game, and if it works or doesn't work, you can try something different the second game.
Definitely, and a chance to also give opportunities to a larger group of players as well.
All right, national team coach Tom Sermanni, thanks for joining us on the broadcast.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Right. Tom Sermanni, nice enough to give us some of his time here on top of the Maryland Soccer Pucks. It's the half. Right now, it's Boston 1, Washington 0. We'll be back with the second half in about 8 minutes or so. You're watching the NWSL on YouTube. Welcome back to the Maryland Soccer Bucks. Michael Minnick here with you. It's 1-0 Boston at the half. Joanna Lohman scoring the 24th minute off an assist from Leanne Sanderson. That's the difference. We have one halftime change just for Boston as Katie Schepfer, who had to leave the field for a little bit of time in the first half after suffering a blow to the head. She is done for the day. And Adriana Leone will come off the bench for Lisa Cole's side. Leone, the forward from Maple, Canada. And that's just a great name for a town in Canada. Maple, Canada. Third appearance of the year, allocated from the Canadian national team. Played in the Under-20 World Cup in 2012. Her favorite player, non-soccer, is Alex Ovechkin. So she's in the nation's capital. The Capitals, of course, battling in the NHL playoffs. And I'm sure she's hoping to see them advance. And I'm sure a lot of people here in red would also like to see that happen. So just the one change. So the Spirit are unchanged. Ashlyn Harrison goal. Back four, left to right of Robin Gale, Tori Huster, Candace Chapman, and Allie Krieger. In the midfield for the Spirit, the captain, Lori Lindsay, alongside Diana Matheson, Ingrid Wells, Julia Roberts, and Stephanie Oakes. And then up top is Tiffany McCarty, who has played well in her return to the lineup. Have to wonder as well if her goal against Boston in the first meeting was a reason to put her back in the lineup. Team for Boston, Ashley Phillips in goal. Back four of Joe Dragata, Melinda Mercado, who was a late addition to the lineup after Keenan McNeil was initially listed as a starter. The captain, Kat Whitehill, and Julie King. In the midfield, it's Heather O'Reilly, the goal scorer, Joanna Lohman, and Mariah Noguera. Up front, Sydney LaRue, Leanne Sanderson, who had the assist on the woman goal, and the substitute, Leo. Center official Josh Wilkins is ready. If you watch the stream during half, you can still see it a little bit. We got a good bit of rain at the half as sky has opened up a little bit, but it's diminished to a mist, and hopefully with this field in tremendous shape, it won't really affect things. Breakers get us underway. Sanderson's pass forward blocked, brought down by Lori Lindsay. Now touched to the side. Well, there were two changes to the Spirit. They changed both of their outside backs as Kika Toulouse and Dominica Hodak are in the game. Krieger out, which is a big surprise. And then also Candace Chapman goes to half. That's less of a surprise in her first game back in the lineup, but I'm sure that'll be a big question post-game for Mike Jordan. Is Allie Krieger out at the half? So Hodak, who started last week at left back, will return to that position. Kika Toulouse, who started the first three matches for the Spirit at left back, now playing right back. And Robin Gale, who started at left back, is now on the inside where she's played in all the other games this year. Sanderson. Broken up by Stephanie Oakes. It falls to the feet of Roberts, who plays it forward. Ball forward by Wells, stolen away. Now here's Lohman trying to slide it away, but Lindsay steps up to win it for Matheson. Matheson working up the middle. To her right is Lindsay. She'll play on Lori Lindsay. Lindsay on the edge of the box, walking towards the end line. Lindsay's cross towards the middle is knocked out and cleared by Boston. I apologize for the snort there. Not sure what happened. Knocked up the line and out for a throw-in. Happens to the best of us. Kika Toulouse will have to drop back a little bit to take this throw in. I'm going to blame the famous Dave's Barbecue for that, as the smell is intoxicating coming from the concourse of the Maryland Soccerplex. Goal kicked for the Breakers in the 48th minute. Again, if you're just joining us, Joanna Lohman has the lone goal off the assist from Leanne Sanderson. That came in the 24th minute off a nice bit of combination passing from the Breakers. Spirit have had their chances. Not a clear-cut one, but have looked pretty good in the attack, and an equalizing goal would really not be out of the question for the way they've played, and it wouldn't be unfair to the Breakers either. They've been the better team, Boston, but not by that much. Toulouse just throw up the line. Wells can't keep it alive. Now it falls for Matheson. Left-footed ball forward, headed out by Mercado. Second chance for Matheson. Pressured by Sanderson. A sliding challenge again for Matheson, knocks it out. It'll be a goal kick. I'd take a moment to thank our sponsors who are a critical part of making this league and team successful. The Washington Area Girls Soccer League, which provides lasting friendships through soccer for girls throughout the DC metro area. Metro Orthopedics and Sports Therapy, providing orthopedic medicine and sports rehab services in DC for over 25 years. The Maryland Soccer Foundation, operators of the amazing 22-field Soccer Oasis here and a daily strategic partner of the Washington Spirit. Broken up now. Here's Ingrid Wells dumping it long, looking for the run of Tiffany McCarty, who has a step on Whitehill. Here's McCarty in the box. McCarty towards goal. Sliding challenge from Whitehill, knocks the ball away. And finishing the job coming back is Mercado, a corner for the Washington Spirit in the 49th minute. Again, it'll be Lori Lindsay to take as she takes probably 95% of these corner kicks. Matheson took one late last week, but usually it's Lindsay that draws the duty. Usually she'll try and pick out Huster or Oaks on this. Lindsay tees up the ball. We've got an out-swinging ball with the right foot from the right side. Comes in towards the six, headed on goal as the goalkeeper was out and cleared by Sanderson. Good chance there as Hodak recovers and plays in Kika Toulouse. Space now for Lindsay on the right flank. Ball towards the 18, and she slipped on that one. A spot there where the wet field played a factor. Here's LaRue. Stolen away by Matheson and Lindsay. In the center of the park, it comes for Huster. Now McCarty. Playing it through, looking for Ingrid Wells. Phillips off her line, and she'll get there first. Lohman. Heather O'Reilly. Pressured by Matheson. She goes back. King forward, stolen away by Matheson. Matheson will play the ball in on the floor for Lindsay. Lindsay in the 18, tries the right-footed shot, and it's a beauty into the top right corner. Lori Lindsay has tied this game in epic fashion in the 50th minute. What a strike from Lindsay. Her first goal of the year is an absolute beauty. Lindsay had the space, took the aggressive touch forward, saw the corner there, and could not have hit that ball better. So, Lohman's strike, canceled out by Lindsay's strike. Level pegging as we move into the 51st minute here at the Maryland Soccerplex. And if there is a goal in the week in this league, which I don't think there is, that's your candidate right there. Perfect strike from Lori Lindsay. So now the Breakers have to respond. Here's Sydney LaRue, shipping it right. Here's Leone, forward into the path of Sanderson, who touches it by Gale. Off her line is Ashlyn Harris. Again, if you're just joining us, both teams made changes at the half. Katie Schepfer came off for Boston. She took a bit of a knock to the head in the first half, so a precautionary move there. Spirit make two changes, both in the back. Candace Chapman's day is done after her first 45 of the year, so that's not a big surprise. The big surprise is Allie Krieger off at the half, as Dominica Hodak and Kika Toulouse are now occupying those outside backs, flanking the back center backs of Robin Gale, who moved inside after starting at left back, and Tori Huster, who was playing that left center back spot and is now on the right side of that central pairing. Ball skips by King, a throw for the Spirit. Knocked out by King again, another throw for Washington in the 52nd minute. Matheson volleying it down for herself. Matheson scoring with her left foot, and it trickles by Phillips and knuckles on the ground. And again, the wet field probably worked against the Spirit there. A dry pitch that probably skips into the corner, but Ashley Phillips maybe makes that save better on a dry field too. So kind of the luck canceling itself out, but Phillips has got to hold on to that ball. Probably hard in the throat time when that ball skipped off of her, but it stayed wide. Still 1-1. McCarty back for Lindsay. Right for Kika Toulouse. Stolen, though, by Heather O'Reilly. And the center for her is LaRue. O'Reilly charging hard. Splits the defenders, goes down in the box. Referee says play on. I think O'Reilly might have sold that call too well. As she split the defenders, there was contact, and she kind of did, I wouldn't say a dive, but she definitely lunged forward. I think if she just falls, maybe she's likelier to get the call, but I think maybe the body language there maybe sold that too well. Ball through intended for LaRue, picked off by Harris. But even with that, I think O'Reilly had a good shout for a penalty there. I was surprised that was not called. Lindsay's ball over the top looking for McCarty, headed down by Melinda Mercado for Boston. Lohman. For Noguera. Left now for Julie King. Stolen away by Matheson. Making the central run, though, is McCarty. Overlapping run from Oakes. Nicely weighted ball for Stephanie Oakes. Oakes on the right edge of the box, going to work. Steps over. Lays it off for Lindsay. Lindsay looking for a second. Beats the defender. Lindsay's right-footed shot is just over. Lindsay turning into a bit of a forward. She has one beautiful goal. Didn't miss the second one by that much. 54th minute. And I would say, having seen in person 4 of these 5 Spirit games and having watched the other one online, maybe the best 10-minute stretch this team's played all year. Got a goal out of it, has had some good chances off of that as well. Lindsay, Matheson, McCarty, all in good form right now. Sanderson. Noguera. For Mercado. Right for Dragata. Dragata unable to save that ball. Throw for the Spirit in the 55th minute. Lohman in the 24th. Lindsay with a screamer in the 50th. Your goal scorers. McCarty. For Matheson in the center of the park. Hustling back is O'Reilly. Matheson laying it through, intended for Oakes. It's broken up by Mercado. And cleared weakly to Matheson. Matheson dispossessed, though, by Sanderson, doing some good work defensively. Noguera will spray it right. And out of the path of Leon for a Washington throw. Taken quickly for Oakes, for Wells. Now Hodak up the line. McCarty, Matheson. Step and win from King, played right back in. And it skips by the right foot of Stephanie Oakes. Good idea on that through ball. But Ashley Phillips will corral in her own area. Really nothing Phillips could have done about that goal from Lindsay. I think the more concerning play for her was the play after that, where the ball kind of squirted past her on this damp field. Almost went in the far corner. Chip from Toulouse up the line and nobody home. Spirit have done a better job today of playing to McCarty's feet. We haven't seen too many of those errant through balls like we just saw there. They've been kind of working where McCarty has her back to the defender. She can get it at her feet. She can spray it left or right. She can drop it back to Lindsay or Matheson. And that's been a good look for the Spirit. Phillips' goal kick. Popped up by Roberts. Last touch by Julia Roberts. She went up with Noguera for that ball. Throw for Julie King and the Breakers. King, in her second stint with the Boston franchise, was also with them last year in WPSL Elite. Made 9 starts. Huster heads back to Ashlyn Harris. So it seems almost contradictory. You sub 2 defenders at the half, and your attack gets better. But that's what's happened for Washington so far. A very good first 11.5 minutes to the second half. Headed back by Noguera. And a touch now for Ashley Phillips. 1-1 the score. Thanking some more of our Spirit sponsors. ProChain Solutions, helping clients get their most important projects delivered faster, 1 goal at a time. And SoccerWire.com, your source for local and national soccer news. We thank them for their sponsorship of the Spirit. Throw up the line, chested down by McCarty, volleyed forward. Cleared by Mercado, out for another Spirit throw in the 58th minute. So the Spirit have made 2 changes. Boston's made 1, so options available for Lisa Cole on the Breakers sideline and Mike Jordan on the Spirit bench to try and find a winning goal in this one as we're tied at 1. Huster, Roberts, Matheson, right for Toulouse. Her ball forward for Oakes, who volleys it down for herself. But Whitehill steps in, breaks it up. Toulouse wins it back. Kika goes right again for Stephanie Oakes. And Oakes shields that, and it'll be a throw the other way. Oakes had protected it thinking that it was going to be her ball, but instead it goes to Julie King and the Breakers. Headed on by LaRue for Gale. Hodak, Lindsay, Robin Gale. Right for Toulouse. 10 for Oaks. It's cleared by Kat Whitehill. Back to Huster. Her first touch heavy, and Sanderson steps in. Broken up again, though, by Huster. And out for a Breakers throw in the 59th minute. Michael Minnick here with you, watching a very good encounter here between Boston and Washington. First match ended in a 1-1 tie between these two teams back at Doughboy Stadium on April 14th. And here in May, we're playing with the same score, 1-1. Matheson. Back for Lindsay. Toulouse. Sydney LaRue, who was the hero in that one for Boston with equalizing goal, has been pretty quiet, especially here in the second half. Here's McCarty. Sliding it through for Oaks. And the flag is up on Oaks. Bad break there for the Spirit as they had something brewing through Stephanie Oaks and Tiffany McCarty. But the referee's assistant on the near side putting an end to that. Handing the free kick to Kat Whitehill and the Breakers in the 60th minute. As I said a few minutes ago, I think the best stretch the Spirit have played all year have been these first 15 minutes of the second half. They've gotten a goal from Lindsay, they've built some confidence, and they've looked very comfortable. Matheson. Up the line for Oaks. Oaks double teamed. Gives away a throw. Woolman will take for the Breakers. She has the goal for Boston back in the 24th minute off a dish from Leanne Sanderson. So both those players getting on the score sheet in their return to the Plex. Matheson unable to dodge the tackle from King. It's one back for Mercado. Now Dragata. Square for Whitehill. Cat goes left for Julie King. Up the line for O'Reilly, who's had a good match. Knocked forward into the path of Sydney LaRue, but angle not right on that one. It bounces out for a throw. So Krieger went a half at that right back spot, marking Sydney LaRue. Was pulled at the break by Mike Jordan, and again, we don't have an explanation for that yet, but if we hear something, we'll certainly pass it on to you. I'm sure it'll be a topic of conversation post-game. Noguera. Mercado. Now Kat Whitehill will set up the right foot. Chip it over the top, looking for Sydney LaRue. Huster in the area will knock it out for a throw. Better safe than sorry. Throw towards Sanderson, volleyed out by Huster. It'll fall for the goal scorer, Lindsay. Up the line for Diana Matheson. Matheson looking to play it early into the path of Oaks. Phillips off her line will make sure that rolls into the 18 before she takes a touch. Oaks was the intended target. And she's playing more of a traditional 4-4-2 forward right now in this alignment with McCarty as her partner. And as good as Oaks has been as a two-way player this year, good to see her getting a little bit more into the attack today. LaRue for Boston. Back for Joanna Lohman. Chip forward, volleyed by Huster for Washington, chested down by Lindsay, laid off for Matheson. And she plays it off of Joanna Lohman. Throw in the 62nd minute, 1-1, your score. Joanna Lohman scored for the Breakers in the 24th minute. It was Lori Lindsay with a beautiful goal you'll have to watch later on YouTube on the archive in the 50th minute. If you want to rewind that and watch it and then come back to me, you know, I'll let you do that too, but I wouldn't go too far from this one. It's just been a exciting second half on top of an exciting first half. 1-1 the score. Ingrid Wells. Broken up there. Free kick for the Spirit. Also, if you're just joining us, I chatted with U.S. national team head coach Tom Sermani at the half. Good to see him at the Maryland Soccerplex. Got some thoughts from him on this league in general, as well as the national team's upcoming friendlies against Canada and South Korea. So, again, after the match, scroll that back, listen to that. Very entertaining to talk to the Scotsman for the first time. Nice guy. Free kick forward. Headed on by Julia Roberts, but wide of the target. Out for a goal kick in the 63rd, soon to be 64th minute. And a bit of a unforced error there as Phillips throws her hands up, but she was the one that tried to play it to Dragata and missed her. Gave away the throw to Hodak in Washington. Wells chesting it down. I think she's had her best match of the year. Hodak's chip towards Matheson, but headed out by Kat Whitehill. Brought down by Sanderson, who would try and turn Roberts. Laid off for Joe Dragata. Queered towards midfield, towards LaRue, who has now switched sides in hopes of getting some better service, as she's had a quiet half here on the near side. O'Reilly nearly stealing that away from Lindsay. But she retains possession, plays a 1-2 with Roberts, and now sprays it left for Wells. Speaking of spray, the rain has picked up a little bit more here at the Soccerplex. Hodak's through ball, not finding a teammate in red, and out for a goal kick. We've seen the conditions play a little bit of a factor, especially on the goalkeepers, as Ashley Phillips has slipped a bit. Lori Lindsay lost her footing, went across as well for Washington, so you hope that it's not a slip that decides this game. It's been an evenly played, well-played match between these two Eastern clubs. Huster for Gale. Chip over, looking for Tiffany McCarty, headed down by Mercado. Noguera trying to backheel it, but didn't get much of the ball, and Gale wins it, but dumps it left and out of bounds. Throw for the Breakers here in the 65th minute. The mist combining with the smoke from the barbecue behind me to create a little bit of an interesting effect towards Ashlyn Harris's goal. Here's Whitehill. Ball right, looking for Leone, who has been quiet since coming on for Katie Shepfer at the half. Step and win from Joanna Lohman. The Breakers goal scorer looking for a second, or at least an assist. Cuts it back on Lindsay. Lays it off for Sanderson, who had the assist on that goal. Now Noguera. Right to Leone. Adriana Leone's chip towards the middle, volleyed by Gale, and out for a throw. Again, Breakers have 2 changes left. Spirit have 1. Be interested to see what the wisdom is on that. As conventional wisdom is, at home you go for the win, at road you keep the draw. So see if Mike Jordan maybe throws Caroline Miller on to try and get a second goal, or what the strategy is from him, as well as Breakers coach Lisa Cole. Wells playing the early ball over the top, looking for the speedy Oaks. She'll battle Mercado for the ball and get it. Here's Oaks at the edge of the 18. Evading one challenge, trying to evade a second as Mercado picks her up, doubles back, and dumps it left. But the pass too hard for Ingrid Wells. Oaks did very well to hold up play, but the pass disappointing. Here's Leone for Boston. Dumps it for Lohman. Now back for Dragata. Her chip forward intended for Sanderson. One in the air by Robin Gale. Touched on well by Lori Lindsay. Lindsay running up the middle. Lays it in the path of McCarty, but Phillips off her line. 67th minute, we're still tied at 1. Breakers taking the lead on Joanna Lohman's goal, her first of the year in the 24th minute. And then Lori Lindsay grabbing her first of the year on a beautiful top corner strike in the 50th minute. Sanderson stepping forward for the Breakers as they try and take the lead back. Switches it right for Leone. Against Wells, she'll go to work. Leone broken up by Hodak, and out for a throw for the Breakers in the 67th minute. Leone, the halftime sub, will take the toss towards Lohman, who chests it down, tries to turn, picks it up on the other end and plays in LaRue. LaRue chipping it up the right side for Leone. Hodak gets there first and wins the ball. Ingrid Wells up the line for Stephanie Oaks. In the center now for Roberts. Matheson now for the Spirit. Left. Wells on the ball now. Forward for Oaks. Laid back for Matheson. Chip right for the overlapping Kika Toulouse, who chests it down. Tries to volley it over King. Wants a handball and gets it. Free kick for the Spirit. And Huster had touched it there. So just to let Lindsay get a better spot to take that free kick, and Heather O'Reilly tried to pounce it and say, that was the free kick, I want the ball. But referee said, no, that was just getting in the right spot, no big deal. Lindsay will take the free kick. Left hand in the air, right foot on the ball. Nice ball towards the penalty spot. Rising forward to win, and the header is Noguera. Second ball picked up by Oaks for Washington. She'll turn at the top of the 18. Oaks' shot is blocked again by Mercado. Roberts trying to pick it up, but the Breakers win possession. Dragata clears it off of Oaks. Now as she slips, and Oaks has a chance to cross. Oaks' balling comes towards the 6. Diving header miss, skips by Lohman. Finally cleared by O'Reilly, but right to Matheson. Here's Lindsay. For Matheson again, trying to turn it. Fancy footwork didn't quite work there. Now a turn over to Sanderson. Chipping it up the left side for the dangerous LaRue. Huster in a foot race to get her. Takes the bump, and a foul against Sydney LaRue. Breakers coach Lisa Cole not pleased with the call, but center official Josh Wilkins has made up his mind. Gives away the free kick in the 69th minute. 1-1 the score. Crowd starting to get into it, urging their team, trying to get that first win. Through now for McCarty. Whitehill will touch it back to her goalkeeper Phillips. Boston, after that opening tie against the Spirit, haven't lost, haven't conceded a point at all. They've won all two of their matches since then. The Spirit, as I said, looking for win number 1. They come in on 2 points. After opening with 2 draws, they've dropped 2 in a row, both by a 2-1 score line. Lohman. Back for King. Sanderson. Magnet of the ball to her foot. Drops it back. Here's King. Under pressure from McCarty. Knocked up the left side. Caroline Miller will be the 3rd and final change for the Washington Spirit. She's at the 4th official right now in the 70th minute. So there's your answer. Mike Jordan will put on a forward. Figure it'll probably be McCarty or Oaks' day that is done, as they put in good shifts up front. Matheson has the ball skip off her foot and right to Julie King. Switch now. Give it away as Dragata falls over Roberts. Chip forward by Hodak into the path of McCarty. But King gets a foot in, then it ricochets back towards McCarty. And it'll be a corner for the Spirit here in the 71st minute. 1-1 the score. Will this be the moment this game breaks the Spirit's way? Before that, we'll see Miller come on. It'll be Tiffany McCarty making way. Miller got the start last week, but in the other matches, this has been her role. Late attacking sub. Good game for Tiffany McCarty, I thought, in 70-plus minutes. Created some chances. Got a shot or 2 off. Now the attention swings back to Lori Lindsay in that near corner. Out-swinging ball will come from the veteran. This time the Spirit have 1 on the keeper, everybody else 12 to 18 yards away from Ashley Phillips' goal. Hand comes up from Lindsay. Driven ball comes from Lindsay. Towards the 6, it's headed out. And it goes through Caroline Miller. What an unfortunate first touch for the new sub. Back for Oaks. Tackled away by Dragata. Oaks will regroup and drop for Gale. Hodak. On the floor for Huster. Pressured by Lohman, she'll hang on to the ball and find Kika Toulouse. Up the line it comes for Matheson. A nicely weighted ball as Lindsay was also there to touch it on. Matheson keeping it alive and playing it off the defender for a throw in deep. That was O'Reilly that had come all the way back to mark that play for Boston. 72nd minute, tied at 1. Matheson's throw back for Kika Toulouse. Chests it down, chips it forward. Over Oaks, and Whitehill will watch it roll out for a goal kick. Breakers are readying their second change. It's Kaya Simon, the Australian, who has to warm up off. She's on the bench getting instructions, so that would certainly be an attacking substitution for the Breakers as they try and get 3 points on the road. Sure, they'd be okay with 1, but 3 is obviously better. Throw for the Spirit just past midfield. Toulouse will take. Headed back by Noguera for Boston. King will rise over Miller, knock it back. Volleyed high by Mercado. Popped up by Toulouse. Flicked on by Oaks. Touched on by Matheson. Here's Miller. Caroline Miller laying it on the floor for Matheson. On the end line. Cross is blocked and goes out for a corner. Boston defender not happy with that call. As Julie King says that hit Matheson last, but 3 officials disagree. Another corner for Lindsay. Matheson's available short. They'll play it for Matheson. Matheson's right-footed ball driven in towards the far post. Phillips off her line to punch. Toulouse will watch it roll out for another corner. 74th minute tied at 1. We'll go to the opposite side, and again it'll be Lori Lindsay. Crowd starting their corner kick stomp below me. We've been in-swinging ball from the right boot of Lori Lindsay, but before that the official was going to have a word and say no more pushing and shoving. Talking to Oaks and Nagara in particular. Lindsay will reset the ball. Hand comes up, ball comes in towards the center circle, and it's punched out by Phillips. And the cross back in hits the side netting. Miller was the player that picked that up on the other end. Simon has her substitution card, hands it to the 4th official, so we'll see the young Australian momentarily. 21-year-old from Quakers Hills, Australia. Picked up an assist in the Breakers 4-1 win over Chicago last week. Gale. Chip flicked on by Lindsay's head, knocked out by King's noggin. We'll see the change here. Kaya Simon on. And Mariah Noguera off. So an attacking-minded player in Simon for Noguera, who played mostly as a defensive mid today. Simon will immediately have instructions for Leanne Sanderson about her positioning. Throw from Toulouse. They're won by Boston. Second ball and a foul here. A belated foul on Julie King. And they'll wave help one for Stephanie Oaks, who took the brunt of that challenge. King has got to watch it. She's had some strong words for the officials on a couple of occasions in the last few minutes, but neither team's picked up a card. King might be a candidate if she can't control herself in the next few minutes. Oaks helped to her feet. And the referee says since the trainer was allowed on the field that Oaks has to come off and then be waved back on. Free kick will come for the Spirit from the right side. Matheson will look at it, as will Lindsay. Lindsay has the final word. She'll take the free kick here in the 77th minute. Spirit looking for the go-ahead goal to complete their comeback. They trailed 1-0 after Joanna Wilman striking in the 24th minute, but Lori Lindsay in the 50th. Leveling things, and that's where we are now, 1-1. Lindsay, left hand in the air, serves the ball in towards the penalty spot, headed out. Sanderson picks up the clearance from Lohman. Touched forward and given away to Hodak. Lindsay turns. O'Reilly comes in to knock it through, and now LaRue's 1-on-1 if she can get to this ball. It'll be LaRue against Gale. Simon rushing hard in support. LaRue at the top of the box, sets up the right foot, dodges the tackle from Gale, but can't beat Ingrid Wells. Pass forward blocked from Simon. Now to the feet of Leone. Lead off again for Simon. Through now looking for Sanderson, blocked. We'll try it again. Over the top, and Sanderson, I believe, would have been offside had she tried to play that ball. So she'll let it roll. Harris won it in the 78th minute. On the floor it comes for Tori Huster. Spirit will build once again out of the back. Switch left for Wells. Hodak. One change left for Boston. Spirit have used all 3 of theirs. And the touch left for Miller. Not in the reach of Ingrid Wells. Throw for the Breakers in the 78th minute. Dragata will take. Oaks is being waved back on to applause, so we're back to 11 on 11. Gale for Huster. Under pressure from O'Reilly. Back to Ashlyn Harris, who whacks it clear in the nick of time. Out for a throw. That's what O'Reilly can do. A motor that never stops on the veteran winger from North Carolina. Chip forward. Chested down by Leon. Given away in midfield to Oaks. She'll touch it for Wells. Now Lindsay. Knocked forward. Nice ball into the path of Wells, but too much on it. It skips out for a throw. Simon. Shields nicely, drops it back. Dragata will chip it clear. Laid off by LaRue for Leanne Sanderson. Sanderson trying to touch it around Gale, plays it up the line for Leon. There is Hodak. Hodak turns nicely and plays it up the line. Good presence under fire from Hodak. Wells trying to evade Sanderson, plays it up. Good touch from Oaks to open up some space for herself, and she'll switch it for Toulouse. Now Huster for Lindsay. Kick it Toulouse again. Has Miller and Matheson. She'll play Diana Matheson. Matheson on the right side, marked by Joanna Lohman. In the middle for Toulouse. Toulouse now for Lindsay. Lindsay's touch, second touch is a roller right to Phillips, who dives and saves, but good combination play from the Spirit in the 80th minute. Still, though, we're tied at 1. Lohman in the 24th, Lindsay in the 50th, your goal scorers. Punt from Phillips. Headed down by Roberts. Wells will hustle back for it under pressure from Leon, save it, and drop it for Hodak. Hodak, intended for Caroline Miller, stolen away by Lohman, who finds Sanderson in space. Sanderson, 40 yards from goal, dumps it right for Leon. Leon has a step on the defender. Now Hodak will pick up the mark. Leon trying to turn Hodak. Cross comes in towards the 6, and Harris makes the diving play at the near post. O'Reilly was lurking on the doorstep. Roll out for Matheson. Sanderson working hard to come back and defend her. Chip forward, looking for the run of Oaks, and too far. Here's Ashley Phillips in her own 18 in the 81st minute. Joe Dragata. Forward for Simon, the Australian, touches it right for Leon and too far for the Canadian. Spirit throw. Hodak for Gale. Under pressure from LaRouche, will touch it back for Hodak. Hodak takes a bump, stays on the ball, and works in Roberts. Roberts on the floor for Lindsay. Now Matheson, opening up right is Toulouse. Ball is a little bit behind her. She has to hold up a run, but she gets it. Toulouse with a hard switch towards Oaks on the far side, headed up by Mercado. Falls for Matheson in midfield, but she can't beat Lohman, who will get it back from Sanderson. Field opening up now in the final minutes. Lohman still on the ball, and a good tackle from Hodak to win it. Matheson, Lindsay, doubles back, and working Wells on the left flank. Oaks making the hard run up the side, bumped by Mercado. Wells will play it on the floor for Miller, who touches it on, but would have been a difficult ball for Oaks to get on, even if she had been making the run from the beginning. Mike Jordan clapping for the idea on the Spirit sideline. But in the end, it's a goal kick in the 82nd minute. My gut feeling isn't always right, but I kind of feel like there's another goal in this game. I don't have a feel for which way it's going to come, but I don't think we're going to have a tie. For some reason, I think we're going to see a goal. Sanderson on the ball for Boston. Through for O'Reilly, but Harris wise to it. Waves off her defenders and makes the scoop. Maybe because every single game here has seemingly had a late goal, I almost expect it at this point. About to move into the 83rd minute. Left for Ingrid Wells as the Spirit build out of the back. Oaks. Hodak. Wells. Oaks. Pressure by Lohman. She'll go left again for Ingrid Wells. Making the short run is Miller. She'll get it at her feet. Miller turning towards midfield. Turning now. Trying to beat the defender. Mercado. Still Miller on the ball. Touches it right for Lindsay. Lindsay at the edge of the 18. Lays it back in for Oaks, who lets it go. And Mercado gets back in the play. Touches it forward for Leon. She touches it back for Dragata. Breakers have a second to breathe here as they clear in the 83rd minute. Hodak's header forward, right to Lohman. Right for Leone, in the center of the park for Simon, but it's taken away. Lindsay for the Spirit. Chips it forward, good ball for Miller. Miller chests it down, tries to turn, broken up, now laid off for Oaks. Oaks at the edge of the 18, tries the right-footed shot, it's blocked by O'Reilly and cleared. Hodak. 84th minute now as it goes left for Wells. Wells is right-footed ball in towards Oaks, headed down and cleared by Cat Whitehill. O'Reilly against Huster. Huster volleys it off O'Reilly. Her hustle will keep this ball alive on the sideline though. O'Reilly with Sanderson and LaRue in support. Simon also arriving. O'Reilly working hard towards the inland. O'Reilly's cross goes by Simon and then LaRue fires high. Simon had the best look at that but couldn't get a foot on it. It came through to LaRue, who I'm sure was probably a little surprised to see that get all the way through, and she missed high. So, sigh of relief from the Spirit defense in the 84th minute. Another storm weathered in this 1-1 game. Harris pushing her team forward. Goal kick comes up the middle. Header won by Simon. She'll pop it up again. It falls at the feet of Sanderson. Gives it away to Matheson, who touches it for Roberts. Back now for Huster. Dodges the sliding challenge from LaRue and works square for Gale. Gale switching it left. Too far for Wells. Last meeting between these two, it was Sydney LaRue who was the hero, scoring the tying goal in stoppage time after Tiffany McCarty had given the Spirit the lead. Will we have another hero in this one? Phillips off her line makes the diving play. 85th minute. Again, the Breakers have one change they can still use to tweak this one in the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. The Spirit have used all three of their changes, most notably taking Ellie Krieger off at the half. Lohman. Leone. Turning Wells. Wells stands her ground well. Leone again trying to work. Nice move from Leone. And her Canadian teammate Gale picks it up and clears it out for a throw. 86th minute now as the Breakers will take this throw in. Another great game here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Unfortunately, the end of the 4-game homestand, we won't see this team back at the Plex for about a month, as it'll be June 15th before the Western New York Flash invade. 3 road games in between at Seattle, on May 16th at Portland, on May 19th at Boston for the 3rd time between those two on May 25th. For the Breakers, it's a road game at FC Kansas City a week from today, then home to play the Spirit, then at Sky Blue FC on June 1st. Cross towards the middle, cleared by Matheson. Header forward. Simon is onside on the right side, crossing it in towards the middle, and the ball gets through both Huster and LaRue. Picked up on the far side by O'Reilly, who runs out of space against Toulouse. No, that stays in play. Back now towards the middle. It's touched forward by Roberts and now cleared. I thought sure that ball had gone over the line, but O'Reilly kept playing and was rewarded. Throw in here, the Breakers bench wanted a foul. Didn't get the call in the 87th minute. It will be a free kick for the Spirit. O'Reilly with a bit of gamesmanship, not giving Kika Toulouse the allotted 10 yards on this free kick. Toulouse saying she needs to move back. Wait a second. O'Reilly will say, okay, fine. No, yeah, it's a free kick. We've had about 20 or 30 seconds go by here between the call and the actual re-entry of play here. Finally, Toulouse does hit it deep. And that's a veteran play. Like I said, Boston would love to win this game. Tie on the road isn't the end of the world, so O'Reilly killing some time there. Huster knocks it off of Roberts. It'll be a Breakers throw. O'Reilly wants to take it quickly. Huster touching it forward. We'll do it again. 88th minute, 1-1. Back for King. King turning on Oaks. King will try the shot from deep. It's blocked. Popped up by a couple of heads. Now falls at the feet of Matheson. Spirit can counter here. Miller's the only role player in support making the run forward, but it comes through from Miller. Off her line is Phillips. Sliding tackle from Phillips. And she's fortunate they didn't find a red player right away because that could have been a 40-yard spectacular to win this game potentially. But Phillips does her job well enough. Hodak touches it left for Wells. Broken up by Leone, out for a Spirit throw in the 88th minute, soon to be the 89th. Again, the question at this time of the game is how much stoppage time? I don't think we'll see too much, 2 or 3 minutes. Touch now for Miller, trying to find a winner. Caroline Miller's right-footed shot and a diving catch for Ashley Phillips. Well handled by the Breakers goalkeeper. Good look though for Miller. 89th minute. The punt from Phillips forward. Toulouse wins the header by Sanderson. Back it comes for King and the Breakers. Up the line intended for O'Reilly and the pass not on the mark. Throw in for Kika Toulouse and the Spirit in the 89th minute. 1-1 the score. Lohman in the 24th, Lindsay in the 50th, your goal scorers. Oaks. Miller. Given away. Kaya Simon. Excuse me, that's Leone. Up the line for O'Reilly, too hard. Throw for Kika Toulouse again. Chested down by Lohman for Boston. Now Sanderson. Gives away. Oaks trying to turn on the sideline, and it goes out for a Breakers throw. Mike Jordan pointing the other direction. Now trying to plead his case to the fourth official. Thrown by King. Header won by Huster for Washington. Now Simon touching it back for the Breakers and Lohman. Good ball right to work in Dragata in the 90th minute of a 1-1 game. Dragata's ball over the top. Simon is there. Header won though by Huster. Lindsay. For Wells. Back for Hodak. Again for Wells. Chip forward for Matheson. Oaks is open on the right side. She wants to switch. Lindsay, after a couple touches, will think about it and go short for Roberts. Opening up now as well as Toulouse. It comes right for Oaks. 90th minute. Oaks working against King on the right side. Oaks' cross. Was it deflected? No. Goal kick, I believe. No, it will be a corner. Referee's flag, I couldn't see it from my angle, but it will be a corner as we move into stoppage time. 2 minutes of stoppage time. 2 minutes of stoppage time for a team to try and get a winner in this one. Lori Lindsay trying to make sure that it's Washington that does it. Cowbells shaking, feet stomping, hand up from Lindsay. Right-footed serve in towards the 6. And headed off a couple of bodies. I believe Dragata got the last touch. And it will be a corner the other way. Time running out. Once again, the stadium clock here at the Soccerplex stops at 90. So we're not sure exactly how far into the 2 minutes we are. Probably about a minute. Lindsay's corner. An in-swinging ball from the far side. Right-footed from the veteran Spirit midfielder. Whistle blows. Lindsay takes her couple of steps. Hand in the air. Serve from Lindsay towards the 6. Couple of bumps there. And the referee says play on. Crowd wanted a penalty, but you're not going to get that call. Gale recovers. Chips forward. Phillips off her line. Makes the catch. Matheson was the player making the late run. The punt forward from Phillips. As there's space now for Kaya Simon and the Breakers. Simon working towards the 18, won well by Hodak. Space for Lohman to collect in stoppage time. 1-1 the score. Lohman switched left over the top of Leanne Sanderson. Catch for Harris. Punt from Harris. Header won by Whitehill for Boston. Falls at the feet of Leanne Sanderson. Back for King. Ball now intended for LaRue, stolen by Huster. Miller's touch out of the path of Oaks. Throw for the Breakers deep into the 2 minutes of stoppage time of a 1-1 game. Throw by King up the line. Headed on by LaRue into the 18, and a pick for Harris. Can't be much more left in this one, and there is none. So for the second time, the Boston Breakers and Washington Spirit meet, and for the second time, it's a 1-1 tie. After Tiffany McCarty and Sydney LaRue exchanged goals at Doughboy Stadium tonight, it was Joanna Lohman and Lori Lindsay doing the scoring. Lohman off an assist from Leanne Sanderson in the 24th minute, and Lindsay with a right-footed rocket from 22 yards into the top far corner of the net to tie this game. And I thought the Spirit played their best half of the season in that second half to tie the game and get a couple of looks at winning it. But I think a tie is a fair result on the whole. So the Breakers, for now, move into second place on 8 points with 2 wins and 2 ties, both the ties against the Spirit. The Spirit still searching for that first win. They now are 0-2-3 on 3 points, still in 6th place in the NWSL. Next match for both teams, the Spirit will begin their 3-game road trip at Seattle on May 16th. Then it's to Portland and to Boston, back here on June the 15th. Great tickets still remaining for that one on WashingtonSpirit.com. For the Breakers, this 2-game mini road trip continues at FC Kansas City. Should be a highly anticipated match between 2 teams in the top half of the table. That match on May 18th. But here a 1-1 tie, Joanna Lohman in the 24th minute for Boston, Lori Lindsay in the 50th for the Washington Spirit. Thanks for watching tonight's exciting match on YouTube. I'm Michael Minnick saying good night from the Maryland Soccerplex.
Great feedback. Everyone's very pleased what you did. Good. They said since you didn't have an announcer, you should have talked to the people on YouTube. They could have been your commentators.
If I had a screen, I could have done that.
Right.